Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Municipal Authority meeting for the City of Perry. It is September 17, 2018. Roll call, Dixie.
Kolar.
Here.
Gilbert. Here. Franklin.
Here.
Hicks.
Here.
Ahern.
Here.
Seabelt. Morrell. Stroller.
Here.
Johnson.
Here. I do declare a quorum, and an invitation this evening is our good friend Reverend Kim Hayes, First Baptist Church. Sir, would you pray with us, please?
Thank you. Let me pray with you. Father God, thank you so much for these that serve you in their different positions, and Father, just give them wisdom and direction and discernment as they discuss city events and protocol. We just pray that you'll just work in our great city, and thank you for this privilege of coming before you tonight to lift them up in prayer. I pray that you bless them and their families and encourage them in the hours that they spend doing this, and so Father, we're grateful for that. And so God, thank you for allowing us to live in this city as we give you praise tonight and thanks for all that you do in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Hayes. We'll go to item 1, which is the consent agenda. Which item A is receive and approve the minutes of the regular PMA meeting of September 4th, 2018. Do I have a motion, please?
Motion approved.
Second. Thank you. Roll call, Dixie.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert. Yes. Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 4, comments from those assembled concerning the PMA. Any comments? Thank you. We'll move on to item 5, proclamations, commendations, reports, and inquiries by the governing body. Staff, council, anyone?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Well, we got to go to new business first. Any new business?
Sorry, I skipped over that one.
Seeing none?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert. Yes. Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you.
Turn the page too early.
Now I call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Perry. It is September 17, 2018. Roll call, Dixie.
Kolar.
Here.
Gilbert. Here. Franklin.
Here.
Hicks.
Here.
Ahern.
Here.
Seabelt. Morrell. Stroller.
Here.
Johnson.
Here. I do declare a quorum. Item 1, consent agenda, items A through K. Any of those that you'd like to discuss separately, make that motion or make a motion.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Dixie.
Kolar.
Yes.
Gilbert. Yes. Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 4, comments from those assembled. Anyone in the audience need to make comments about the council meeting this evening? Please let us know. Seeing none, item 5, proclamation, commendation, reports, and inquiries by the governing body.
I want to say kudos to the September celebration.
125 years old, isn't that?
I don't know who to commend, I'm afraid I'd leave somebody out, but it was a fun event, great day.
Yes, it was. It was.
And they always clean up after, and it looks great. We move on to item 6, city manager's report.
Thank you,
Sir.
Mayor. And nice segue into what I was going to say here at the beginning. I want to say thanks to our city departments, parks, electric, streets, police, and fire for all their help during just a magnificent celebration weekend. It was very nice, well attended, a lot of good vendors around. I thought everybody was having a good time. Great parade as well. I want to give an update on the Pharmacy Alley. We've had a little problem. Part of it was because of the rains that we had the week before last, and that put them a little bit behind. Also, we have some old drainage sections that have rusted out, and we've had to replace those as we go along. So hopefully by the end of this week, they'll be back on schedule. Also wanted to let you know that we received a request from a North Carolina firm that's wanted to submit a bid for AMI, and because of the Hurricane Florence, they asked for a little extra time, so we have granted that and extended that to all the vendors that we sent out requests for until October 3rd. Lastly, BMAC manager Lee Harmon has been talking about expanding tournaments out at the facility to include adult softball. So this Saturday at BMAC, he will be hosting a co-ed softball to gauge interest and see how if there's any interest there, that we can maybe put that on some future projects as we go along. So he's had some requests, been talking about that for a while.
What do you think, Gordon?
We didn't do so good, did we?
So anyway.
Not many of our team left, I don't think.
Your wife, Diane, you and I.
Anyway, more information is available at perrybaseballcomplex.com. perrybaseballcomplex.com. Thank you, Mary.
And
Thank you.
that is a tournament versus just a game?
I think everybody gets 50 to 300 softballs, and they just see how far they can chunk it.
Huh,
Don't think it's exactly a tournament.
okay.
He hasn't promoted it that way.
Okay.
It's co-ed softball. So.
Bill and I played on a team, I don't know how many years ago.
Well younger than I am now.
And I understand that this adult softball, it's not necessarily the one he's talking about, but regular adult softball where they travel, they play, what, at 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Play all night.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
It's way past my bedtime. So.
Maybe the police and fire could take their teams out there.
Yeah, you-
There we go.
That's a one-year thing, Bill.
once a year. We can't afford any more than that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, Russ Meacham.
Maybe one of y'all's teams wants a redemption.
Just-
Russ Meacham, sir.
I heard we were gonna have a boxing match next year instead of a softball tournament. That's what it was gonna turn into.
Almost did
All
this
for
year.
fun and games, right? Were we raising money? I think we could get better, fundraiser. Boxing match. That was always one of our favorite things down at O'Connell's. Was walk across the street, and they had the fraternity boxing
Fraternity
matches.
boxing,
I'm
yeah.
telling
Yeah,
you,
they were brutal.
that would turn out the best crowds. You want to draw people. What is it, Doc? Grown men hitting each other. Just brings out all the fun in everybody. Sorry. It's not what you guys paid me for. My thoughts. I'm going to give you some numbers tonight. A couple of things to talk about. Actually, I have pretty much all good news to tell you related to financials. Our problem is we're only 2 months into the year, so these are as good as they could be, 17 days ago, as things change. And actually, it got even a little better whenever we got the sales tax numbers that were deposited in September. We deposited almost $148,000 in sales tax this month, which going back puts us at about our third highest deposit in the last trailing months. Matter of fact, higher. We were normally about 126, and so we were up to 148. So significant improvement for 1 month. Mind you, confidential reports not out, so I can't tell you by industry, where that is just yet. We'll get those later this week. But that was really good news. Whenever you look back, we were hitting 160s, whenever we had Walmart. So I'm not saying that we're back from Walmart or any of that stuff, but I am saying that we did have a month that trended outside of where we have been, because we've been down in the 120s, like I mentioned in the total piece. So, overall, a little bit of good news running there. As far as other revenue numbers, for the second month in a row now, our hotel motel taxes have exceeded that $18,000 number. That $18,000 is kind of our benchmark on hotel motel revenues, so we're back up there. Another good month, almost $20,000. If Dixie would have spent one night in the hotel this past month, we would have had $20,000 in hotel collections. But anyhow.
One night.
Just one night, Dixie, come on.
Not gonna give it enough.
Somebody give us one more night so we can get our collections up. Other than that, expenses are really kind of running where we would expect them. There's some seasonal pieces. There's some bigger one-time expenses. If you're looking at the street department, we've got some one-time pieces related there on capital outlay. All of those expenses are actually things that you all have approved on prior council agendas, and gone through. The last time, 2 meetings ago, we approved a whole gluttony of those purchases. So that's really what's running through there. As far as utilities, we are from a seasonal number. We get July and we get August as far as big billing months on electric and on water. We will start falling off of that. 4% over is actually trending in about our traditional roll. We did have a whole lot of rain the first part of this month, which actually, we'll see what happens. Grass is greener, so maybe people wanted to go ahead and water the flower beds and keep everything alive. I don't know what we're going to see. So we do have a little bit of an anomaly. We're not used to having that much rain overall this time of the year. So we'll see what it trends out into September as far as utility goes. All in all, though, guys, we're within budget. We're running where we expected to be, and hopefully, I can tell you that next month again that we're having good sales tax collections. So all in all, though, we are ahead of budget on sales tax collection, which is the most important part. And next month we're going to be even a tick better. So I'm going to leave you with that.
Thank you.
Unless there's any questions.
Questions? Comments or concerns? Okay, we'll move on to item 8. And we have Jennifer Fairguard here, and she is with the NODA. We are considering authorizing Northern Oklahoma Development Authority, NODA, as a grant administrator in dealing with OK Grants and Oklahoma Department of Commerce to implement the completion of the city's community block grant number 17299 CDGB 18 and approved contract for administrative services in the amount of $12,799 and a letter of authorization. Jennifer, you'd like to speak to us this evening?
Just to let you know that the funds, the $12,799 is coming from the CDBG grant itself, so there's no out-of-pocket on that. The other out-of-pocket expenses will pay for construction. And I'm happy to work with you guys again.
We have it happy.
Motion to approve the contract.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Dixie.
Colnar.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Good. Thanks for coming over, Jennifer.
Yep.
We're gonna sign these right now. No hesitation on my part.
You want Russ to go ahead and read for you while you're?
You gonna start reading that now?
You want to call in line, and I'll start down that piece.
We'll call item 9.
to read
Russ
it. and-
Beecham.
Derek has someplace to go this evening, so we're going to run this one out. Bryce wrote it. Since he's not here, I'm going to at least read for the record his piece. Consider and approve ordinance number 2018-19 of the City Council of the City of Perry of Oklahoma, making the Perry Municipal Code consistent with Title 37A of the Oklahoma statutes pertaining to the alcoholic beverage, amending Chapter 1, Section 1-111 concerning alcohol and drug violations and minors by amending certain references, deleting certain charges, and adding certain new charges to the bond and fine schedule, amending Chapter 3 of the Perry Municipal Code 2018 supplement by the addition of a new article entitled Alcoholic Beverages and Occupation Tax, by the adoption of the new Section 3-101 entitled Definitions, by the adoption of the new Section 3-102 entitled Occupation Tax Levied, by the adoption of the new Section 3-131 entitled Payment Required Penalty, by the adoption of a new Section 3-104 entitled Annual Report, by the adoption of a new Section 3-105 entitled Application for Certificates Investigation, by the adoption of a new Section 3-106 entitled Issuance of Certificates, by the adoption of a new Article 2 entitled Alcoholic Beverages and Specific Offenses, by the adoption of a new Section 3-201 entitled Display License, by the adoption of a new Section 3-202 entitled Drinking in Public, by the adoption of a new Section 3-203 entitled Public Intoxication and Drinking Prohibited, by the adoption of a new Section 3-204 entitled Minors and Alcoholic Beverages, by the adoption of a new Section 3-205 entitled Possession or Consumption of Alcoholic Beverages Prohibited in Other Locations Without Permission, by the adoption of a new Section 3-206 entitled Permitting and Allowing Gatherings where minors are consuming alcoholic beverages, by the adoption of a new Section 3-207 entitled Location of Retail Package Stores, Mixed Beverage Establishments, Beer or Wine Establishments, or Bottled Club, by the adoption of a new Section 3-208 entitled Transportation to Open Containers of Alcoholic Beverages, by the adoption of a new Section 3-209 entitled Municipality May Initiate License Suspension, by the adoption of a new Section 3-210 entitled Prohibited Acts, entitled Repealing the Current Chapter 3 of the Perry Municipal Code 2018 supplement, repealing sections 10-801, reserving the number, repealing section 10-802 and reserving the number, repealing sections 15-522.1, repealing section 3-102 and section 3-202 of chapter 18, provide for repealer, savings, codification, severability, penalty, effective date, and declaring an emergency. Bryce, you owe us.
Just think, we paid him to write all that. Now, if we could just get Bryce to talk that fast, would you?
Y'all ready?
Getting paid by the hour, right? It's how much you can get in the hour.
Any questions for Mr. Meacham or myself?
The main thing I understand about this is it's just getting us to the new laws, right?
Right.
And just making us equal to that.
Correct. This is adopting the state statute and effectively mirroring our rules to mirror what the state says has to happen. So we don't have anything special in here anymore. The fines or the licensing and the fees were set at an established rate. It's not like we can go make really any additional money on anybody other than whose business is originated in Perry. So our local businesses, if we were to set high fees on this, our local businesses would be the only ones that pay it. It wouldn't be third parties or anybody whose base business is not started in Perry, Oklahoma. So no need to really stick big fees in there unless we just want to penalize our local people.
We've taken no liberties with state law and adjusted it to Perry or anything like that. I know some places across the state, they have done that, we have not.
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Dixie.
Caldern.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks. Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Motion on emergency.
Before you do, can I back up just a minute? Chapter, or page 13, section 11. Says, no minor shall be employed in the selling, manufacturing, distribution, or other handling of alcoholic beverages at any place within the city. That means a minor can't work for Homeland?
Correct. But that's state law.
Okay,
State law.
okay.
That's, even your convenience stores or those places where minors have been allowed to work. My understanding though is that was worded a little different. My understanding was they couldn't handle it.
Which is how it kind of is now.
Yeah, they're gonna have minors working at Homeland. It's based on, they can't provide it,
Right.
they can't serve the drink as a minor.
It'd be the same thing like the
They-
restaurants.
I don't think they
Like
can-
you go to the Macarena or the other restaurant and you order a beer, the minor can take your order, but they can't bring the beer to you.
Right.
And like, I think Homeland, they wouldn't be able to check you out, I don't think,
Right.
Walmart won't do it now.
Yeah.
so unfortunately,
Most
that's
of your
a
restaurants have
side effect of it.
legal age waitresses or waiters
And my-
serve the alcohol.
And
Some
I
are
may
16 or
be,
17.
I may be wrong, because I deal with some convenience stores and they were talking about this. I think all of the people like at the registers has to have a liquor license now.
What?
I think that's what they said.
I didn't hear that one. But I do know that.
Because a lot of people that work in those places, some of the people, I should say, that places I deal with are felons. And so they can't actually get a license as a convicted felon. So a lot of them are applying for pardons now. If you've been a good person for like 10 years or something, they'll give you a pardon. So
Right.
it's a big, long, drawn-out process now, just because of this.
We have a second.
Yeah, we just have to.
I think
declare
just my
emergency.
motion.
Second. We have a second.
Sorry to sidetrack us.
That's all right. Good question.
Okay. Caldern.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Have an emergency?
That was.
Oh, that was a vote. Good, thank you. Item 13, consider ordinance number 2018-21 of the City Council, City of Perry.
We're on item
Okay.
10.
Yeah.
I slipped too many. Daggone you guys.
Get it over with her.
Item 10, I was trying to get the new ordinance passed already. Consider amendment to city purchasing manual permitting the weekly reimbursement payments required by the city's self-insurance group insurance plan. We're having claims come in that are far more than they are allowed to do with their signature, so we need to give those claims paid. So these guys need to be able to sign those certificates to do that under our self-insurance.
As I
Is that
read
right,
this,
Russ?
the big jump was because it was 2 weeks of claim,
Right.
not one.
Right.
Anything to add?
No, this just gives Dixie came to me originally and was like, these numbers are way, and she is right, you know. Probably my fault for not catching that or even thinking through that being an issue, but that's why we're bringing it back to you all now. But they are, her expenditure level will be within the budgeted amount, so it's not like she's gonna over expend those dollars. But we can have, because they're medical claims, I mean, we can have $50,000, you know, weekly claim run. And whenever we have that, she needs to be able to authorize the payment of that amount. So that's what really is driving this piece.
Can
And,
payment outrun the budget, or is it budgeted
No.
per month?
well, it was an annual budget, so, you know, I mean, we don't allocate a monthly amount to it. We do have sufficient resources and fund balance to cash flow fund in that full amount from day one. So, effectively, we put a reserve on $878,000 worth of cash day one, so that she always has enough to pay. There's always enough cash in the bank to pay that. And we work approvals for other departmental purchases and other things around that minus 878 plus whatever we've actually spent out of the cash budget.
Move approval.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Dixie.
Caldern.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller. Johnson.
Yes. Thank you. We'll move on to item 7.
What?
Item 11. I'm rolling dice. What can I say? Consider acceptance of water plant Clearwell expansion joint sealing project with Knight Industrial Contracting Incorporated and authorize a payment of $28,603. This was in July 2018, city approved contract with Knight to perform certain repairs on Clearwell's water treatment plant. All work is completed. The project should be accepted and payments made for such work.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Dixie.
Caldern.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you, council. We'll move on to 12. Consider approval ordinance 2018-20 of the City Council of the City of Perry, amending Chapter 15, Article 4 of the Perry Municipal Code 2018 supplement by addition of the new subsection C to Section 15401, which codifies the requirements for Title 47, Section 11-801BB and F, and Title 47, Section 11-801E relating to maximum fines, costs, and fees for certain speeding offenses, providing for repealer savings, codification, severability, penalty, effective date, and declaring an emergency. Any conversation on this? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the ordinance 2018-20.
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions, concerns? Roll call.
Caldern.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. I wasn't getting any body language from you guys. I
Well,
was concerned about
that's
that.
what I was just,
That is,
Everybody's too subtle. All right, we'll go to item.
motion emergency.
Emergency.
Oh, crud. Do I have a motion for an emergency, please?
Either one of us.
Okay.
Motion emergency.
Thank you. Thanks for keeping me straight. Roll call, Dixie.
Caldern.
Did we need a second?
Well,
It's already done.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's why
Yes.
she's pointing at you.
Gilbert.
Okay.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
This is a clown act.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Now can we move to 13? Consider ordinance 2018-21 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 15 of the Perry Municipal Code 2018 supplement by the amendment of Section 15403, providing for speed never to exceed that which is reasonable or prudent for the existing conditions, providing for repealers, savings, codification, severability, penalty, and declaring an emergency. Too fast for conditions. They got me on that once.
Me too.
Do I have a second?
Oh.
I have a motion first.
You have a motion.
All right, I have a motion.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Dixie.
Calderon.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Do I have a motion for the emergency clause?
Motion for emergency.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Dixie.
Calderon.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
14 right now. Talk about.
I think we need. Yes.
Fine.
Item 14, we had considered tabling this, but I think we need to, one, kind of discuss it, to get it out there, and if we don't want to vote on it this evening, that's up to you. But it is considered ordinance 2018-22 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 11, Article 2 of the Perry Municipal Code 2018 supplement by the addition of a new section, 11-217, entitled Mausoleum Rules and Regulations, providing for the repealer, savings, codification, severability, penalty, effective date, and declaring an emergency. There's a lot of interest in families putting a mausoleum at Grace Cemetery, and so that's the reason it's been brought up. Have you checked the background and read through in section 14, any of that's included in here, and you have any questions about it, we can discuss them and pass it, or we can table it. It's up to you. For further discussion.
One of the things that it does not include is, what does it look like? What's it made of? And that's not in this piece right here that we're going to consider tonight. So you can pass it, come back, and add some stuff to it, or you can table it until we have that opportunity to put together some specifications, and I believe that you might have some pictures or
I have,
something like that.
Laura Lee, the cemetery supervisor, had given some pamphlets that she had given me to show to Bryce, and because he had asked for her suggestions on all of these rules, and she was suggesting that mausoleums be okay in, just where they have the space to put the ashes, but not crypts, which would be, they have a door and you could walk in them. She was opposed to that, so he wrote all this,
That's what I was
included
wondering.
her ideas.
It says, is it called niche?
Yes,
Yeah.
niche is what you would put the hole you would put the ashes or the
Oh,
whatever into.
Cabinet door is a niche.
But this does provide for crypts.
Right, this does not include that.
So what is it on the north side of the cemetery?
We do already have
We
a
already have
mausoleum there. Yes, I believe it's Morrow
Morrow.
family.
Mhm.
But she has recently had some more inquiries, and the people actually came in and talked to me as well, and they are planning ahead because, as they said, when they're ready for it, it can't be built that quick, and so they want to have it ready for them when their time comes.
So these are primarily private mausoleums, not a city mausoleum?
Right.
So this is just to allow that to happen with some regulation.
Right. She did mention that most of the outside is granite. So, we were talking, we wouldn't want anything that's limestone or sandstone in 100 years that's gonna cause somebody problems.
Well, that's what I was wondering, who is responsible for the upkeep,
Yeah.
of the structure? There's a whole lot more than a headstone.
Oh, definitely.
Well, what we talked about this afternoon with Bryce and Mayor and Larry was, you know, if this is something you all are interested in, let's pursue this and let's get some more definite pieces in, materials, upkeep, all those kind of questions. Let's really go back in and revamp this. If this is something that you guys don't want to spend any more time on, then if you just flat out say, no, we're not doing it, then we'll drop it and not spend any time. Otherwise, it'd probably be better to bring you back the fully revised piece. That way it's one piece going in under the ordinances.
I think we kind of talked about it, but something else to consider is just the overall size. Even if it is made out of the correct material, you don't want, I mean, we don't want to take up a huge area of the cemetery with one.
Well, it all depends on if they want to pay for it or not.
Well, yeah.
Well, even a small one will take 3 lots.
Yeah.
Well, the one that Laura Lynn showed, or talked to me about was a lot and a half per person. So like the couple that were interested, they would need 3
Yeah, 3
lots for
lots.
the 2 of them.
Wow.
But they were aware of that and they were willing to buy 3 lots for them.
Can they do that right now without any, I mean, like the Moros, I guess, or whatever?
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know how the Morrows, I mean, of course, that one's been there for a lot of years, so really we don't have any provision now.
The Morrow one was done at Morrow's request, and council said we can trust Mr. Morrow to do whatever's right.
But now we've got precedent set that we would have that. So.
We don't
You have
Mr. Morrow.
consensus to table it till we have.
Yeah, unless there's any other discussion on the table until we have better guidelines.
Okay.
In Haiti, where I do my missions work, the water table is so high there, and all the cemeteries are all privately owned.
Oh, my.
And so they lease you a spot in a mausoleum, and you have to pay rent monthly for that thing. And if you don't pay rent,
Your jug goes out?
they've got 4 sections in each one of those little
Cheaper
things.
place.
They run you in there and they fill it all in with concrete and everything. And you stop paying rent and ship it out.
New Orleans has some of those discrete rules also.
I think the Philippines has a similar deal, but they're.
But how would you like to be, responsible for your grandma's?
Or whatever they.
Sorry, Grandma, I can't pay.
Get a call from your cousin, Bill, you didn't pay the bills.
Or get Grandma out.
All right,
We
sorry,
need a
I thought
second?
that was funny. Yeah, second, whatever we're doing, second.
Table.
Oh, yes.
Second.
Roll call.
Kohler.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes, thank you. We'll move to item 15 now. Consider approval of agreement for waiver of entitlement in the amount of $5,302 in FAA funding and transfer the entitlement to the city of Fairview. It's money we have, we can't use as FAA money
There's
this
no
happens,
project that we-
yeah. We don't have a project out there that's ready. The money will be sent out of state probably, so we'd rather go with Fairview than
Yeah.
someone we don't know. This happens.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Dixie.
Kohler.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. New business? Any new business?
Motion adjourned.
Thank you. Roll call, Dixie.
Kohler.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Ahern. Stroller.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.